Hi and welcome to Old Time Knowledge. Well, in this video I am going to be making one of our absolute favorite things to eat for supper anytime, and it's so easy to make. It's chicken fried rice. For this, you really just need some rice. We use chicken thighs. You can use chicken breast if you want. I'm not going to be giving you exact amounts of everything because what I'm trying to do is just show you how to make this, and then you can decide how much you want to make, and you can decide whether you, for instance, you want to use chicken breast or chicken thighs, or if you want to use shrimp, or if you want to use, beef or pork or whatever. But stick with me and we'll get right to it. All right, so the first thing is I'm going to get some oil in the pan. I use olive oil. And I don't have a wok. You sometimes see people make fried rice in a wok. I don't have a wok, and I have a flat top stove anyway, so a wok wouldn't work very well. I just use my great big 12-inch cast iron skillet. I've got some chicken thighs that had been frozen. They've partially thawed. For me, chicken thighs are easier to cut up when they're not totally thawed out because they just are so soft. But when they're still kind of frozen, it makes it much easier to cut them into little cubes. So I'm doing that right now, and I'm actually going to reserve a little bit of these chicken thighs for something different that I'll be doing another day, not in this video. So anyway, I'm just putting these little pieces of chicken thigh in the olive oil, and I'm going to saute these until they're pretty much cooked. And I'm going to put them aside before I move on to the rest of the making of the fried rice. If you want and you're using something like chicken thighs, you can cut the fat away, but I don't bother with that because, it cooks down and it gives it flavor and everything else. And I prefer chicken thighs for this rather than chicken breast. Our favorite Japanese restaurant, and it's down about 20 minutes from here, but they make Japanese chicken fried rice pretty much exactly like this. My version of the recipe is pretty much copying what they do. And they use chicken thighs, and the flavor is just fantastic, and they stay tender. And so, with the extra cooking, it's not like they're going to dry out or anything. Chicken breast can sometimes be kind of dry, but chicken breast can also be good. So I'm just going to get these in a Ziploc bag and get them back in my refrigerator for the other dish I'm going to cook tomorrow, and I'll move on to the next step. Okay, you're going to notice that I do something here that you might not expect, and that is all I'm seasoning any of this with is salt and pepper. And until we get to the very end of cooking this chicken fried rice, that's all there's going to be is salt and pepper. There'll be salt and pepper on the chicken. There'll be salt and pepper on the vegetables that I'm going to saute to go in here. And then stir fry. And then there's going to be salt and pepper on the rice when I add the rice in. And then at the very, very end, I'll be adding just a little bit of soy sauce. So I'm just going to hurry up and finish getting this chicken cooked up, and then I will take you to the next step. And in case you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm just cutting the pieces sort of in half to make sure that they're done. Because, you want to make sure and test your chicken for doneness before you take it up. And I want this to be pretty much done before I move it over and out of the pan. Before I can move the chicken over, I'm going to go ahead and get these carrots peeled and diced up. And I'm also going to be cutting up some onions, and I'm going to be adding them to this skillet and starting to saute those or stir fry those, whatever. What's the difference really? I don't even know. But I'm going to get those cooked as the chicken's finishing up. And so let me speed things up here as well, and then we'll go on to the next step. Okay, so you see I'm dicing these carrots up really small, and I'm going to do the same thing with the onions. Those are the only vegetables I'm going to be adding to the pan right now. And the reason why is because they need to cook a little bit longer than the last vegetable that I'm going to add, which is peas. You can add any vegetables you want, but I just like to add carrots and onions and then like frozen peas. So, the goal here is just to get these so they start cooking and softening just slightly, and the chicken's going to be done pretty soon. And I'm going to move it right off onto that saucer because it is done now. And then I'm going to give these carrots and onions a stir and get those cooked some more, adding some more salt and pepper. That's the only seasoning I'm using. Now it's time to add in the rice. So here's the thing with the rice. I'm adding a little more oil first. The rice is cold because I made it last night and I put it in the refrigerator. I didn't make rice on the video because it's pretty straightforward how to make it. You use 1 part rice to 1.5 parts water. So if you're using 1 cup of rice, you're going to use 1.5 cups of water. 2 cups of rice is going to be 3 cups of water, and so on. So in this case, this here is part of what I had done the night before, which was 2 cups of rice and 3 cups of water. Right now, I'm going to get 2 eggs out, and I'm going to scramble them in the bowl a little bit, and then those will be added to the skillet here shortly, but I want to get the other stuff all mixed together first, excluding the chicken. The chicken's not going to get added in quite yet. So I'm just letting the bottom of that rice sort of cook on that oil, and then I'm going to be coming back over with my fork and giving it a stir, and then getting the carrots and the onions mixed in. I've got to do the peas first, so I'm going to be adding those in. But I'm just trying to get that rice sort of fried in that oil. This is why it's called fried rice, because it's in oil and it's being fried. So now everything is getting stirred around and everything's getting coated in a little bit of that oil. I'm not adding more oil to the skillet just yet, but once I move all of this over, then I'll be adding just a little bit of butter for cooking those eggs, scrambling up those eggs. And still, the only seasoning I've been adding to any of this is salt and pepper, and you're just adding that to taste. So let me get these eggs scrambled a little bit, and what was left of that butter I just put over there on the rice, and it'll get mixed in with the rice, and that'll give it good flavor also. So it just takes just a little bit, and you can just use eggs if you don't have chicken or you don't have other meats you want to put in. You can just use eggs in your fried rice, and that's delicious. That's really good. And so it makes it really easy and well, I would say cheap to make, but my goodness, as expensive as eggs are, it's not so cheap right now. Eggs are like a luxury item. But okay, these eggs are almost done. And then once I feel satisfied that they're done enough, then that's when I'm going to mix the eggs in with the rice. And then at that point, after that happens, that's when I'm going to be adding in the chicken. So you see, now everything's getting mixed together. And see, it's looking beautiful. It's delicious. I'm just thinking about it right now. Now, I might add in a little bit more salt and pepper, but here is the soy sauce. You see that? That's about a tablespoon, but I'm not even using all of it. I probably used only 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. That's all that it needed. There's still probably a teaspoon left in that little bowl over there. This is a mistake I used to make ages ago when I would make fried rice. I would think, oh, all the flavoring's coming from the soy sauce. No, the flavoring's coming from the salt and pepper. The soy sauce just gives it a tiny bit more right there at the end. And it's perfect. And if you taste it and it needs a little something else, most of the time it just needs a little bit more salt and maybe pepper. You can add some more soy sauce, but if you add too much, you're going to risk it just being overpowering with the soy sauce, and that just doesn't taste very good. So this is it, y'all. This is all there is to making the most delicious chicken fried rice that you've ever had. It's so good. If you'd rather put other vegetables in, put other vegetables in. This is the way we like it. It's super simple, exactly like the Japanese restaurant that we like to go to makes. So now let me get some served up. The amount in this skillet will probably be 3 good sized servings, like full plate servings. And that's just right for us. But you can, like I said, I didn't give exact amounts for this recipe because you can make as much or as little as you want. Now that's really all there is to it, y'all. I'm giving it a taste, and I know it's amazing. But I'm going to tell you, yes, it is so good. We ate this up last night. It was perfect, perfect, perfect. So I hope you make this, and I hope you let me know what you think in the comments below. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.